What's going on, man? It's your big brother K-Rino here with y'all on this Sunday night. And got some on my mind. And what I have on my mind is something that I think is going to it's going to help all of us. It's going to help me. It's going to help you, possibly, if you take to it, if we absorb it and understand the principles that come along with it. And if we do that, I think it'll make us better, man. So I don't plan to be long. I don't plan to be long at all, but I do want to be strong without a doubt. So I want to make sure that I try to get all these points across. And the title kind of speaks for itself. I'm asking the question, is failing and not succeeding necessarily the same thing? Is it necessarily the same thing? So we'll get into that. But as y'all come in, y'all be sure to click that like button. Everybody that's in here with me now, however many of us it ends up being, we want to make sure that everybody hit that like coming out the gate. That's if you like the content. I think this will give us some understanding. It's something we can pass on to other people who might need to hear it, pass on to your young people, your children that might need to hear it as well. Because a lot of us get caught up in the pressure of what we view success to be, or not always even what we view success to be. We get caught up in the pressure of what other people say that success is, what other people dictate the definition of success to us as. We get caught up and fall under that pressure. So now you pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, which is good. You're supposed to push if it's a goal that you're after, but I wouldn't recommend pushing to the point where it starts to affect your mental. It starts to mess with your mind. It starts to make you lose your composure. Because one thing about trying to accomplish something, you're not going to do it if you're not in the correct frame of mind. You're not going to be able to get it done if your thoughts are not in a composed state. Even if you feel the pressure, you can still maintain your composure in the midst of the pressure and your focus in the midst of the pressure. And if your work has been done, if you put in the time, the work, the practice, the preparation, they say the 5 P's, proper preparation prevents poor performance. If you've done that, then at this point, it becomes a mind game where all you have to do is lock in and get the job done. And it's never about what other people say. It's not, it shouldn't be about what other people's expectations of you are. It should never be about that. Even though to a degree I understand it, because when people see good things in you, they see good qualities in you, when they see potential in you, then what happens is an expectation naturally forms. Like, hey man, I know my son is talented, my daughter is talented, and I know what they can do. So there's a level of expectation that's placed. So when you underperform, then there's a level of disappointment that's expressed by those who have the high expectations for you because they know what you can do. I get that part. But even with that, you can't let it get so bad, man. I'm talking to all of y'all. You can't let it get so bad to where you crack up, because you can overthink situations at times in your life. A lot of times, man, I'm gonna give you an example. Me as an artist, sometimes you got a show coming up. You have a show coming up, man. It's like, it's a big show. and I gotta come through. I gotta really show out on this one. I gotta act bad on the stage on this one. So you rehearsing, you going over it, getting it down pat. But then as the night of the show approaches, you start thinking too much. You start saying, well, what if this goes wrong? Oh man, what if the music don't play? Oh man, what if nobody shows up? What if this, what if that? And you start worrying about all of these things that you really don't have a lot of control over. You have control over them to a degree because you can promote your show to try to get people to come. You can try to get the right sound people in to make sure you can do all that and something still could go wrong. But you do what you can. But even with all of the preparation and all of the things that you do to make sure it goes right, even within yourself, rehearsing it, getting it down pat, if you put too much pressure on yourself, you will forget the words to songs that you perform 8,000 times because your mind is preoccupied with other things other than what your primary focus should be on. And that primary focus should be on making sure that I'm locked into what I have to do and what I can control. You worrying about, oh man, did my people get in? Did they have problems at the door? Oh my goodness. When it's time, when it's show time, it's your time. You hit the stage and you get down and do what you're supposed to do. Focus. Concentrate. Sometimes they say if you study long, you study wrong. And that can be true and not true because the more you study and get it down, you lock it into yourself. But sometimes if that only means if you study long, study repetition, then in the moment you freak out because you don't trust the work that you put in. Now you wondering, wait a minute, I did everything I could do. Why didn't this go right? Because you didn't trust the work that you put in. You can't shoot 1,000 free throws a day. You just at the line, just boom, boom. You got a routine and everything. You come to the line, wipe your head, bounce 3 times, take a deep breath, splash. Come to the line, wipe your head, bounce 3 times, take a deep breath, splash. You do that. You've been doing it all week in practice. Then when the game comes, you just get the free throw and just throw it up any kind of way. You didn't trust your work. Now you're wondering why you've been up practice all the time. Yeah, but when you got in the game, you didn't do what you have been practicing. Why do the work if you're not going to trust it? So to get down to the meat and potatoes of this topic, is failing and not succeeding always the same thing? The answer is no. No. People say, well, if you didn't succeed, that means you failed. No, it don't. No, it don't. Not at all. Well, how does that make sense? If you didn't win, that means you lost, right? You play a game, they say, well, if you didn't win, you look at the scoreboard, well, they got 10, you got 8, you lost. Yeah, technically, you lost that game. You lost that particular match. But it's multiple ways to win, even in a loss, because now you understand that even in that loss, this is not the last time I'm going to play this particular game. So now, if I'm looking at the long run, I'm looking down the line, there are things I can take from this loss that can help me win the next time, possibly, and that could help me become a consistent winner for the rest of my life. So yeah, I didn't win. I didn't succeed today. But if I'm not foolish to where I just keep losing and I never figure out why I'm losing. Because some of us do that. Some of us, we continue to take the same kind of L. You try to open up a business and you go through one plan, one strategy, and how you gonna get this thing popping and getting it off the ground, and that don't work. You backdoor and start again and do the same things and do the same thing, and you never figure out what it is that you did wrong that's preventing you from breaking through, and you sitting there scratching your head looking crazy because you can't put it together. That's because you are not going back over what you did to see where the bumps in the road came. Oh, see, here's where I messed up at, right here. This is where it went wrong, right there. So now you can tweak that and fix that. So next time when you come back to the drawing board, you can get it better. How many of y'all in here right now like to cook? If you like to cook, that was a time when you didn't know how to cook. Some of y'all might think y'all can cook now and don't know how to cook. You just say, oh yeah, I can cook. I go hard in the kitchen. My wife go hard in the kitchen. But if you were somebody who cooks, there have been times where what you cooked didn't come out right. It's like, man, this ain't right. It don't taste right. It could be something you cook many times. But that particular day, this particular night, it didn't come out right. So now in your mind, you like, hey, what did I do? So you have to troubleshoot. You have to troubleshoot and backtrack and try to see where I went wrong. Oh man, I was supposed to put this in at this particular time. I put it in too early and it did this and it did that. One thing, domino affected the other. But if you don't trace your steps to see where you went wrong, then you're going to continue to go wrong. That is when you don't recognize when you don't exhibit the ability to pull value out of the loss, out of the mistake, out of then it becomes a real failure. Because like, this dude been trying to do this for 12 years and can't get it right. You're not learning from your mistake. I'm not the most computer literate guy in the world, right? I'm not the most technology savvy person in the world. That's just your big brother. That's just me. I'm from the old school. A lot of stuff that comes out now is too fast. I'm like, I don't know how to do that, right? But the things that I have been able to learn, just simple things that might appear simple to everybody else, things that I have been able to learn. There are certain things that I've learned that in the beginning, it just seems so far-fetched to me, like, man, how do you do that? Oh, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. And somebody said, no, man, it's easy. And you ever had anybody who they do it, whatever it is that you're trying to learn how to do, somebody already does it, right? But as they try to explain it to you, they explaining it to you a million miles an hour. They ain't breaking it down and simplistically at all. And you sitting there like, and they just going super fast. See, what you got to do is, see, all you got to do is doing a million speed reading, and you like, because they know it. So they're not thinking. See, you can know something, but not know how to teach it. They're not explaining it to you in a way that demonstrates that, hey, I'm talking to somebody who is totally oblivious to this subject. So I have to take my time and explain it to them, asking them questions. Do you get that part? Did you get that part? Instead, you just going a million miles. Have you ever had anybody try to teach you something like that? I know I have. And when that happens, what do you do? Well, I'll tell you what I do. I mentally check out within the first 2 minutes. You lose me after 2 minutes because you start going and going and going. I'm locked in at first. I'm ready. I'm like, you start going, and sooner or later, I'm like, I'm looking at something else. I'm drifting, I'm floating away. I'm drifting away. Because you can't teach like that. Now, on the flip side, I have had people who have walked me through certain things step by step. They show patience. Somebody said, ask questions. Yeah, I'll get to that part. But this is what we got to understand. More importantly, before a person can get to the point where they can ask questions, here's what the teacher has to do. The teacher has to ask questions. The teacher of the subject has to ask the person that they're teaching the subject, do you have any questions? Am I moving too fast for you? Have I said anything that you didn't understand? You got to ask them kind of questions when you teach it, when you're trying to show somebody something and teach somebody something. You don't just keep going, because we can get in our own ego because we know it. Oh yeah, I know it. So he wants to learn it from me. So now your ego, your head is big. Yeah, man. See, it's simple, man. I picked it up like it wasn't nothing. See, what you got to do is, man. Like, and the other guy sitting there, hey, man, that sounds easy coming from you. So you have to ask them questions. You got any questions? Any questions so far? You need me to go back to something? Yeah, man, I didn't understand that part, the first part you said. Oh, okay, that's how you teach. And the best way for me to learn, I write stuff down. And one thing that I teach to my teachers, because the student, you as a student, you have to teach your teacher how to teach you. Sometimes you got good teachers that they just know how to connect. But sometimes when you got one of them people that's just, like I said, just all over the place, and they going 1,000 miles an hour and use a terminology that you don't understand, and you have to teach them how to teach you. Hold on, man. Time out. Listen to me. I don't know this. You know it. You're moving too fast. This is what I need you to do for me. I need you to explain to me, start at the beginning and go step by step. I'll tell people, talk to me like I'm just the dumbest person in the world. That's how I want you to talk to me. When you're teaching me something, I want you to go, okay, start right now by pushing the red button. Okay, good. I got to understand that part. Okay, now when you see the screen that says begin, click begin. Talk to me like that. Because what I'm going to be doing is writing down every step. And once I got all the steps down and you walk me through it, this, I'm looking at you, I'm like, okay, and I do it, I'm good now because I got it wrote down and I've actually been walked through it, and now I got it. So now the repetition kicks in. I don't need the paper no more. I'm good. I've been successfully taught how to do it. That's just me. Some people have the ability to pick up on it when the teacher going fast. They can be right there with the teacher. I ain't built like that. Some of you might not either. Might not be either. But the point I'm making to saying all that is that repetition and that familiarity helps me and helps you, could help you get to a point where you're accomplishing it now. You got it down pat now, compared to if you were failing and not getting done, and now you feel like you a failure. Oh man, I can't do that. That's why recipes are written down. See, I'll treat a task like it's a recipe. Hey man, hey, Let me find somebody in here. Hey, Lucky 711. Hey man, email me the recipe to that cake you made that you brought to the party the other night. And you say, okay, cool. When you send me that email, it's gonna have the ingredients, the amounts, the order in which these ingredients go in. It's gonna have how long, when to do, how long to stir it, how long. That's you reading that. And if you follow the recipe, then you'll be successful in the cake. But if I call Lucky Seven back and, hey man, look at my cake. And my cake look like trash, bent all up. That means I did something wrong. I didn't read the instructions. I didn't follow. I read them, but I didn't follow the instructions properly. So part of succeeding is just following the instructions, making sure that you got every component of it down pat, the things that you can control. Make sure that you do that. And if you mess up, that's okay. Try to figure out where you messed up at. You ever been filling out something online? You order something online, and then you put your credit card information in and all that, and you go through all those steps, and then when you try to go to the next screen, it says, you get the little error. You see the red thing, like, what did I do? You're like, man, when you start freaking out, man, what did I do wrong? What did I? Then you look and say, oh, I forgot to fill out one of those fields. You backtrack, you figured out what you did wrong, you put your zip code in, and now you good. You got to know how to go through progressions. Now, to get down to the nitty-gritty of it, what I was saying in that to a degree is that you have not failed if you learn from the mistake. I said all that just to say that. Because you snap like, oh. And it's a beautiful feeling after being frustrated and confused with why is this not working? Why I keep doing this wrong? And you figure out why, and then you fix it. Man, that's a beautiful feeling. Tell me I'm lying. See? Go through your progressions. Learn from the mess ups. Learn from the mistakes. Now, on bigger scales, because I'm going to use an example. I was watching where Michael Jordan, not Michael B. Jordan, but basketball Michael Jordan. He is selling his basketball team. He was the only black owner, only black majority owner in the NBA, owner of the Charlotte Hornets, right? They've been terrible since he's been in charge. I mean, in my opinion, Michael Jordan is one of the worst evaluators of talent and drafters of players. He might be the worst I ever have seen in my life. And it's amazing how a lot of people who are great at something, they're not good at evaluating the very same thing that they're great at. You see it a lot with rappers who try to start record labels. I've seen a lot of rappers and artists that were great artists, very successful artists, sold lots and lots of records, big fan base. Then they transition over into the business side and they say, man, I'm gonna start up a record label, man. I'm gonna start putting out artists. And some do all right, some do well. But a lot of them, they sign artists and you be like, what did he see in him? It is terrible. It flops. It's like, what was you thinking? Because they just not great evaluators of talent. So I put Michael Jordan in that same category of like, as great as he was as a basketball player, he is the worst at evaluating talent. So with that being said, he's made some draft picks in his time that just make you just like, what? You get the first pick in the draft, third pick in the draft, second pick in the draft, year in and year out, and you pick some of the worst people that have ever played basketball. Some of those guys ain't even in the league no more that he drafted. So as an owner of a sports franchise, when you look at his track record as an owner, because he's trying to sell a team now, I guess he's like, I'm done. People will say that as an owner, he failed. And you can pose, I'm sure you can pose a pretty formidable argument in favor of that. But as bad as he was, and I just labeled out everything, I can't label him a failure. He may not have maxed out the potential that could have been maxed out based on bad decisions he made, but in the macrocosm of the entire move itself, we talk about some microcosm stuff, but in the macro, the big picture, you're looking at a black man who rose to prominence as a player, built up a brand with the Jordan brand, became one of an early handful of black billionaires, and used that in order to become the first black majority owner of an NBA franchise. That's a success. That's a success. Now I know some of y'all, oh man, that's just a way to spin it. That's just a way to kind of dress it up and clean it up and make it how he felt. No. It's not. It's a success. That's a success story. And from a business standpoint, it's going to turn out to be a bigger success story simply because he's going to get more for the team when he sells it than he paid for it. That's just a fact. Because I don't know what the value of that franchise is. Somebody maybe could look it up. Somebody might look up the how much are the Charlotte Hornets basketball team worth. Then you can look up how much did Michael Jordan pay to purchase the Charlotte Hornets franchise. But typically, when you sell, you're going to sell way higher than what your initial purchase was. That's just common sense. That's business 101. Buy low, sell high, or sell higher than whatever you paid for it. When the racist owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, Donald Sterling, when he got ousted from the NBA, he sold the Clippers. He was forced to sell his team. He paid millions to purchase the team back when he bought it in the 80s. I think he bought it in the early or mid 80s. He only spent a few million. He sold it for $2 billion. So while he was penalized for having to give up something that he did not want to give up, being the team itself, he was still rewarded by making 10 times as much on the back end, on the selling end, as he did purchasing on the buying end. So did he really take a L? So Michael Jordan's going to make more money when he sells the Hornets than when he paid for them. So when you take all that into account, the value of the team, the value of the franchise increased under his reign. Now, you maybe can attribute other factors to that you can argue whether or not if Michael Jordan should get the credit up for it, because people say, well, man, just the NBA is just up in general. The market is up and the sponsorship is up and the money is up from the sponsors, and so there's more revenue being generated, which in turn will increase the value of every NBA team. So you can make that argument, but his face was still attached to it. He's still Michael Jordan. He just was not a good evaluator of talent. So from that standpoint, people are saying, oh, he failed. No, look at it like that. 1.77 million. Yeah, no. Let me see. 1.77 billion. He only paid less than 5. You're right, Lester. Good looking out. So right. So he basically, that's 3 times. He even flipped his money 3 times. The value has flipped 3 times. He gonna get, if he spent 500 million, you can double that off the rip. What he gonna get? I'm gonna use Michael Jordan as another example because I want y'all to understand that when people try to say that y'all failed, you a failure, and people try to laugh at you because you tried something and it didn't go like you thought it was gonna go, and people want to label you as a failure. Y'all remember when Michael Jordan tried to play baseball, right? He retired from basketball for whatever reason. We don't go into all the conspiracy theories. One thing we can all agree on is that he did stop playing basketball for about 1.5 years, and he tried his hand at Major League Baseball. When he got into baseball, he was not as dominant as he was as a basketball player. He was barely batting around 200. And this is in the minor leagues. It wasn't like he was playing in the big leagues. He was playing in the minor leagues and barely batting 200. From what I hear, he couldn't hit a curveball. Had trouble with the curveball. But having the will to want to work hard to improve yourself and make yourself better is something that you're not the greatest at. You're not the greatest no more in that. Some of them minor league players on your team was better than you, right? But to continue to keep working to try to get better. And he got better. He got better. So when people say, oh, well, he had to come back to basketball, and they look at, well, his average was 200. Oh, he struck out all the time. Oh, he did it. He's a failure. Nah, he wasn't a failure because he overcame, I won't say overcame because he may not have been afraid, but he tried something that was outside of his comfort zone. He put himself in a position to be laughed at. Put himself in a position to get ridiculed, and you got to have a certain level of testicles to try that. However you feel about Michael Jordan, you like him, don't like him, whatever, we talking about principles. It's a principle involved in this. Separate the person from the principle. If a crackhead holds up a sign that says don't do drugs, are you going to disregard what the sign says because it's a crackhead holding it up? Or are you going to look at the principles of it? You know what? If anybody would know. So when you show the courage to try something that's a little bit outside of your comfort zone, outside the box for you, or that you're not even really sure if you can do, and if people are talking around and oh man, you dumb man, oh man, I wouldn't do that. I would, and you still take a chance and do it, you've already succeeded in my eyes because you've overcome a hurdle, a mental hurdle, a mental hurdle. So even if you don't blow up in that, even if you don't reach the top of the mountain in that which you tried, the fact that you tried to do it, you had the courage to give it a shot, it adds a building block onto your character. See, y'all don't like these kind of talks too boring for y'all. But I'm giving y'all some life. This is the best kind of conversations we can have on certain levels. I'm giving y'all some serious game. You've added a building block onto your character because you can walk away from it like, that wasn't so bad. Wasn't so bad. What is a bigger, what's worse? Running from the bully in school, letting the bully slap you around and bully you every day and you never try to defend yourself, or standing up to the bully and fighting the bully, and let's say the bully win the fight. Because most people say, oh, man, you stand up to a bully, he won't bother you no more. Some of these bullies will beat your ass. But my point is, what's worse? Is it worse to not even fight the bully? Or to fight the bully, and even if you take a L, you go home? How would you feel? How would you feel when you stood up to the bully and fought him and you lost, but you walking home from school, compared to the bully punked you, made you look like a coward, and you walking home from school? What's the worst feeling? At least you tried, man. And you're gonna have some self-respect. You've added a building block to your character, not because you won the fight, because of the fact that you actually fought. That's my point. It's about actually getting into the fight. They say a coward dies 1,000 deaths. Lucky Seven said, but what if you win? Oh, you through the roof now. If you win. The Godfather said, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. And that's another good example. Because some people have this thing in their heart. You've been in a couple of bad relationships. You've been having a rough run of it. So now you are so paranoid about meeting somebody new that you miss out on the good person because now you're so paranoid and so shell-shocked. Oh no, I ain't giving my heart to nobody else. That's what the women are saying. I'm not giving my heart to nobody else. The dudes try to be hard. Oh man, I ain't. I ain't got none of you no more. And all the while, you miserable. And if you go through a bad situation that was once good, not saying when you make the mistake of choosing that bad person that just was terrible for you, you just made a bad choice, but you picked somebody and y'all was good for a while, but then things just went bad. Things just went left. It happens. You can still extract the good parts of that relationship and say, man, you know, we did have some good times though. Some of y'all are still cool with y'all exes. Some people maintain a friendship with an ex after a while. Y'all might have went through that part where y'all was bumping head and but then it wasn't so bad because y'all was civil enough to, after time passed, we're like, you know what? It was what it was. Can y'all see me? Okay, all right. Maybe that was my thing black now. And you say, man, it was what it was. We was good for our time. It just wasn't meant to be, right? So if it wasn't meant to be, then y'all cool. Y'all have accepted that, okay, we were just for that time frame. But now we cool. We can talk. She got a dude, you got another female in your life. Y'all are cool now. Y'all can even discuss aspects of y'all past relationships. Y'all can laugh about it. And in some cases, if y'all are mature enough, and if you're old enough, you've already been through this, you can have conversations with exes and y'all can talk to each other about what y'all actually learned from each other. She might tell you, you know, you made me stronger. You taught me this. I learned this from you, or I learned that from you. And you might not want to hear it because people will tell you about how uh, you made them better for their current relationship. I would have never known that. I would have never known how to treat my current husband if it wasn't for those things you used to tell me. I didn't understand it when you were saying it. I didn't like when you used to say it to me. And you sitting on the phone like, but now I get it now. And my husband loves me for it. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing, man. Because y'all wouldn't meant. You were part of her training process to prepare her for the person that she was supposed to be with. And vice versa. Sometimes it works. You know, you a dude, man, and you just the worst dude in the world, man. You got a good woman, you dogging her out and disregarding her feelings and all this different stuff, man, and you treating her like crap. And she finally wakes up and decides, man, I'm done with this dude. You can't get her back no more. She's done. So if you are blessed again to meet another woman, because sometimes, bro, y'all know the rule, man. Sometimes you only get one good one, maybe two. And if you're the one who blew it, you don't always get another one. The boy, if you do, now you like, oh, I'm doing that no more. Because now you recognize the qualities of a good one. And when you see it again, you know it. I ain't making that mistake no more. So that loss prepared you for a bigger win down the line. Unless we just a fool and we keep doing the same dumb stuff over and over again. Some of us get down like that too. See? But the point is, you never know what a loss or a failure is preparing you for. It says, oh, you know, God got a plan. Yeah. But you got to recognize and understand it. And you got to have a plan. Don't put it all on the God. He gave you a brain too. You got to have a plan to figure out what's best. So use those moments to build your character. Let me see what y'all talking about, man. Bobby the Space Ghost says humans learn how to be successful through trial and error. That's right. Failures are life lessons. When a baby fails to walk and falls, they get up and try again. Not trying is a failure. Great words. Great, great, great comment, man. What if the baby just stood up that first time and fell down? Oh, you ain't trying that no more. Now this dude's 17 years old, still sitting on the floor. I ain't getting up. Failing teaches you how to succeed. So in that regard, you're not really failing. It's just part of the process. It's part of the process. But our biggest obstacle is fear, being scary. You being scary. And you're scared because it's not necessarily because you don't believe you can do it. That's not where the fear comes from all the time. The fear comes from worrying about what other people are gonna say just in case if I don't do it. That's where the fear comes from. Because you can stand in the gym by yourself all day long and knock down threes. Nobody in there. No pressure. Right? But then when the stands fill up, everybody's in the arena. You're down by 2 points, 5 seconds on the clock, and now the ball is in your hands. It ain't the same as when you was in there by yourself. The stakes are high, something on the line. So it's fear. So if you overcome the fear of worrying about what other people are gonna say, and you just lock in on what you got to get done, just lock in on what you got to do. And whether you win or whether you lose. Now you plan to win. Now, I don't believe in, well, it doesn't matter. Oh, we plan to win. But the truth of the matter is that we don't always win in life. Ain't nobody undefeated in every aspect of life. You got some L's that you have taken in your life. We all done took some losses, man. We have lost opportunities. We have lost money. We have lost people. You're going to take some L's in your life. But when you take that L, when you're walking away with the L that you took, add EARN on the back of it. Take the L and add EARN and learn. That's what you do with that L. You learn. Get the best out of the bad situation. Make the best out of a bad situation. Ain't that's what they always say? Make the most out of a tough situation. Stop being scary. And whoever says something about you, man, they gonna go home. They gonna go do whatever it is that they doing. And you letting what they said affect you in your life. They have no control over your life. And guess what? They failed too. They took a loss too. A lot of times, that's why they tend talking to you like that. Because they want you to be a loser just like they are. Once you learn to lose, you learn to win. Once you win, you never want to take another loss again. Though you already have prior knowledge of how to lose. That's powerful. Yeah, you learn how to lose. You learn how to win through losing. Because those parts of life teach you, if you paying attention, can't be a dummy. But those parts of life teach you what not to do. They say, well, winning is about knowing what to do in certain situations. That's what win. You know what to do. But in order to get to that point, you got to know what not to do. Ishmael says, who is they? Well, if you asking me that question, when I say they want you to feel like they feel when they take their loss, they is anybody, any detractors that you have in your life. Some people will refer to them as the haters, the miserable, the envious, the jealous, the evil-hearted. And it could be anybody. You know what I'm saying? It could be anybody. It could be, I got you, Ishmael. It could be people close to you. People that it would break your heart to find out that they were not rooting for you. You still got to keep going. They don't control whether you win or you lose. You control that. You control that. But you play the game to win. Because after everything I'm telling y'all, what's up, Cherie? Everything that I'm telling y'all, I still believe in playing the game to win. I'm not a participation trophy type of guy. Because I think participation trophies, and I know a lot of people might get upset with me, man, a lot of parents. Participation trophies create delusion in the minds of young people and older people. Because if the guy who sat on the bench all season and didn't even average 1 point a game, and every time he came in the game, he turned the ball over, he couldn't make a shot, can't make a layup. If he gets the same trophy as the dude who averaged 30 points a game and led us to the championship, what is that saying? So we got to give you a specific award. You'll get the moral support award. I mean, we're gonna award you because through everything that happened in the season, man, you were still on the sideline clapping and cheering, rooting the guys on, always had the right attitude, the right spirit, even though you was never getting in the game. We're gonna give you a trophy about that. But you're not gonna get the same trophy that the MVP got. I know y'all probably. Am I wrong? Am I wrong to think like that? Because you know what people with young children, like, my baby didn't get no trophy. How come my baby didn't get a plaque? And your baby needs some work. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Do y'all agree with that or disagree with that? Just tell me. I can take it. What's up, JD? I'm just saying, man. There should always be, see, incentive, good incentive. Good incentive is a motivational factor for people in life who want to be better. It should be a motivation to people who want to be better. I don't have any incentive if you steady giving me perks that I ain't earned. So somebody tell me, oh well, this guy's better than you, K. He's a better rapper than you. That I can't argue with your opinion, but if I have a competitive spirit in me, not necessarily to 100% geared around trying to impress you, but I have a motivation and a competitive spirit that drives me to want to prove you wrong, to make you understand how great I am, then I might step my game up and put myself on display in front of you to make you go, oh, maybe change your mind a little bit. Ain't nothing wrong with that. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he said that our critics are our best teachers. Those who criticize you, those who have something to say and critique you and your work and whatever it is you do, they're your best teachers because they're teaching you how to get better through their criticism. Well, I don't like his flow. He can't stay on the beat when he really rap. He really don't stay on the beat. Now, this could be an honest criticism. He ain't hating or nothing. He just pointing out something, a flaw that he sees, like, he all right, but he be jumping off beats sometimes. Then you get mad, man, I'll be jumping off beat, man. Okay, listen, go back and listen. People have said stuff about me, I go back and listen. Let me see if he's right. Let me see if there's any truth to what they're saying about me. Take away your emotions. Take away your pride. Take away your feelings and well, let me see. Let me listen. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I was kind of offbeat right there. Oh, you know what? I did jumble my words right there. Oh, yeah. You know what? He's right. I got to work on that. And it might sting. See, L said it. He said he developed your growth. Come on, man. Okay. You quoting me? That's for the parents. That was for the parents. I know what song that's from. But you got to be able to take righteous criticism. You know the difference between somebody hating on you. K-Rino whack. Why you say whack? Because he wear lokes. They ain't got to do with his lyrics. You just hating. See? Embrace the steps to get there. You're not failing if you are on the path. See? Failure only comes when you just stop. Failure comes when you quit. That's when you can actually be labeled as the failure. Once you just I quit. You ever seen somebody just couldn't get something done? A child, even a grown up. I've seen grown ups. I quit. You quit. Now we can close your book and officially label you as a failure in that aspect, in that field, whatever it was you quit at. But as long as you still doing it, you on your path, you on your journey. A boxing match, well, it used to be 15 rounds. Now it's 12. They used to go more than that back in the days. Back in the old days, this dude used to box 45, 50, 60, 70 rounds. That's to the death match right there. But in the era I was growing up, they was going 15 rounds. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, and they was going 15 rounds. Then they busted it down to 12. So we at 12 now. The point I'm making is that, have you ever watched a fight, a boxing match, and it went the distance, or it went almost to the distance, and you got a guy who seemed like in the middle of the fight or early on in the fight, he was going to get knocked out. This dude was getting whooped. Dude came out just banging him. Bang, bang, bang. Might have knocked him down. Ref might have had to give him a standing 8. That might have had to give him a count while he was down. He got up at 7. Took some hard shots. All in the 8th round. He thought he was about to knock him out again. But then in the 11th round, he knocks the other guy out. So all that hardship that he was going through in the 3rd round, the 5th round, 8th round, all that, what it looked like when they knocked him down, when it looked like he was going to be out of there, all that means nothing now, because he won, because he stayed on the path. He didn't quit. He figured it out. And once that happened, now he developed an appreciation for almost losing. He developed appreciation for when he got knocked down. Because, boom, Godfather just laid it out. He showed heart. He showed determination. Like, I can appreciate, because what did he do again? He put another building block on top of his character. It's easy to quit. It's easy to quit, man. Quitting is the easiest thing in the world to do. Giving up is one of the easiest things in the world to do. Soon as it get hard, you can just say, oh, damn, I quit. I'm done. I don't want no more. I'm through. It's easy. But when you fight through the tough parts, the struggle parts, man, KS say, I'm taking my ball home. Yeah. When you fight through the tough parts and get it, those are the most satisfying wins. When you was on the brink of just losing, you was right there. Man, it was over. And you win. Nobody thought you was gonna do it. Nobody thought. Those are the most satisfying wins, man. You ever been watching the game and the team is losing by 25 points? Oh man, I'm finna change the channel. I'm finna leave. I'm gone. Man, I'm finna go to sleep. You wake up the next morning, you found out they won. Man, what happened, man? They kept fighting. And they came back. And now you mad because you missed it. You changed the channel. Oh man, this game over. You can't give up. You can't quit. Not quitting don't always mean you gonna still win. You ain't guaranteed to win because you didn't quit, but you guaranteed to be better for not quitting, because human nature, man, something in you in the roughest moments is going to tap you on your shoulder and say, hey man, we should just quit. You can just quit. And you have the option in that moment to say, yeah, you know what, you're right. Or you got the option in that moment to say, nah, can't quit. Can't quit. DJ Bud Light up in this thing, man. Stay ready, don't need to get ready. D. Jack Dawson. Indeed. Experiences become a part of you. Experience gives you the ability to see the future. Like, what? What did you just say? When you go through tough experiences or just experiences in life, it gives you the power to see the future. Because now, when you are in that situation again, you instantly recognize you're in a familiar place. Oh, I've been here before. I've been here before. And now you can dictate the future, because since I've been here before and I saw what happened when I applied myself from being there before, I can tell you what I'm gonna do. I can show you what I'm gonna do. And more importantly, I can instill it in others. I can instill it in others, man, which is the most important thing, to get that game to other people. Because many of y'all got children, man. I hate to see little whiny children. I'm sorry. I hate to see little bratty, whiny children. I don't like it. And they parents just sitting there like, hey man, get that boy and tell him to quit whining and get back out there and make it happen. Show him how to overcome what he's having trouble with. KS says, or worse, whiny adults. See, well, whiny adults were once whiny children that never got fixed. So that's where I'm going. When you have whiny little children that cry and when they can't get their way and all that, and then you have a parent, like I said, on the side, just, he's a little upset, and you're not correcting that behavior, what do they grow up to become? Whiny, excuse making, no accountability having. King Asiatic says enabling, expectors of people to enable them. Adults. That's what they become. So that behavior got to be stopped. It don't mean walk up to your child and quit whining. It don't mean that. But you have to show them why that's not a good quality to have. No, son, no, daughter. Figure it out. I'm not going to let you quit. You ever had a child that begged you to be a part of something? I want to be on the football team that's big enough to play football. Please, can I join the band? Please, can I do this? Please, can I do that? And then you say, hey, well, you know, it's going to take a lot of work if you want to do it. Oh, well, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Then when they get involved in it and that work is in their face and it's hard and you're struggling a little bit, I don't want to, I quit. No, you don't. No, you don't. I don't want to do this. Well, you signed up for it. I paid my money. You're going to do it. You're going to finish it. Because the first time you say, okay, baby, you can quit. Now you've started a process. You started a process. Every time through life, that's going to become a part of who they are all through life. Every time it get bad, they just going to quit. So you have to instill that early. So now they got it in them. Yeah, you know what? Mama didn't let me quit. Daddy didn't let me quit. And over time, I got better. I figured it out. I became one of the best in the class. I became one of the best, whatever. Dark Myth said that second wind is real. Absolutely. But you have to overcome the lack of air that you was feeling in the first wind. I'm done. I'm done. No, man. Fight through it and get your second wind. Now, if you got something going on, don't die out there now. But if it's just general, oh, I'm tired, man. Hey, man, push through. Push through. And you always, never fails, man. You always feel better when you push through. Just like I talked about early on with the bully. The bully is bothering you. Even if you're scared, just do yourself a favor one day. Even if you're scared, test your fortitude. Just slap the hell out the bully. Just slap him. I saw one of my homeboys do that. We was in the 5th grade. It was artistic. Just slap him. Man, K, you promoting people to, no, I'm saying if you're getting bullied, God won't leave you alone. Just slap the skin off his face and see what happens. You're going to feel great. You're going to feel great. That is what's called having a breakthrough. Have a breakthrough. Yeah, God, yeah, he might recover and put them hands on you. He might. Or he might show himself to be a coward. And when you slap him, oh, man, well, hold on, dog, I was just playing. You ever check somebody and then they was really on you, and then you check them. Oh man, I was just playing, man. Come on, man. I was yeah. Now you just playing. Have your breakthrough. If you have a pattern already of quitting when things get tough, I'm encouraging you now to have your breakthrough, man. Stop doing that. Stick with it till you get it. Stick with it till you get it, man. Y'all remember Max? Y'all ever seen any of my old videos where I had Max the dog? Some of y'all some new names. Who remembers Max? Who in here? Y'all might have not have been around in my early days of doing YouTube. I want to just give me a few minutes. Y'all remember, who remembers Max? I'll tell the story anyway. Yeah, some of y'all are new names. I don't recognize a lot of these names that was around. Well, Max was my mother's dog, and I would keep him when she would go out of town. I keep him when she would go out of town or she go travel. And in his younger days, he was real active. He'd throw the toy, he would take off running, jump off the couch, fly through the air. He was super fast, back and forth. So sometimes I would challenge him. I would take his toy and I'll throw it up at a spot where it was difficult for him to get it. But I knew that it wasn't impossible for him to get it. But I put it just enough where he can't just get it easy. And he would try to get it the first couple of times, and he couldn't get it. Then he'd look back like, like, hey, man, give me some help. And I'd be like, nope, get it. Get it, Max. And he would look back like, I can't do it. He'd try a couple of times. And I'd be like, nope. Then he'd keep on trying. Because he had to have it. He wanted the little squeaky toy, right? And he would somehow, some way, every time, he would figure out a way to get to wherever I put that thing, he would get it down. But what if I would have just said, oh, okay, all right, that's enough. Let me get it down for him. Because I knew it was in a place that he could get it. He could get it. So it's the same thing like with your children and yourself. It's like the goal is not unachievable. It's not unattainable. You can get it. But you can't look and be like, somebody bail me out when you get to the tough part or when you are not 100% sure about how to get it. Overcome the obstacle and figure it out. Let me see. Y'all talking about all kind of crazy stuff. Half of y'all are not on the topic tonight. Let me see. Push through like Jordan with the flu. Yeah, we use a couple of Michael Jordan examples, man. Business-wise, man, some of y'all tried to open up a business, man, and didn't pop off overnight like you thought it should have. And you gave up and quit. Instead of figuring out what you did wrong and fixing it. Fix it. It's all you got to do. All you got to do is fix it, man. Drop y'all locations, man. Where y'all at? I'll shout y'all out real quick. Robert Sanders says, Bun B, keep on pushing. That's right, man. Keep on pushing, man. Do your best. Is that Castro KTX? You have to explain why not and what it leads to, not just the "cause I said so" line. True indeed. True indeed. It doesn't make sense to tell people to do something just because you said to do it. I want you to understand why you should do it and how to do it. How else will we benefit? Just do it because I said so. That's bad teaching. That's not teaching at all. Central Texas up in this thing, KS, I see you. AB out there in Tacoma, Washington. What's Up podcast in Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah, there you go. Stick with it, trial and error. 1993 in the Bay Area. Gabe Cole out there in Nova, the Nova area near DC. Melanated Greatness is in Jacksonville, Florida. Adrian in Grand Rapids, home of Floyd Money Mayweather. The Godfather, disclosed location. I don't want to get you no trouble. Is that Namaria out there in Jersey? Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Joseph out there in San Antonio. Sick with it in Sacramento. I'm a doozy in Indianapolis. Robert Sanders in Cincinnati. Callis says, I hate this world and the people inside of it right now. It's so unfortunate. Things could be better, but no one sees it my way. I mean, depends on what your way consists of, you know. I understand why you hate the world. The world is on the way out. This world is on its way out. So God ain't too fond of it either. But you say it could be better, but no one sees it my way. What's your way? Pat Warren out there in Dayton. Dark Mist out there in New York. Appreciate all of y'all, man. Couple of PSAs before I go, man. Couple of PSAs. Y'all go subscribe to my podcast. That's it right there in the chat box. Underground Dialogue Podcast. I see you, Ryan, coming in from Prince Edward Island out there in Canada. Y'all go subscribe to my podcast if you haven't already. Check out the interview with the OG Point Blank Southpaw Coalition. It's up right now. Follow me on Instagram at the real K-Rino1. Say your way is peace, love, peace, and understanding. There's a lot of people that agree with that. But we can't just say it. We got to show it. We got to live it too. Blessings to you, Callis. I'm a doozy. You watch the rap economic. Thank you, man. You're all right with me. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, he went and saw his big brother spit that verse on the rap economics on Instagram and YouTube. You probably the only one that went and watched it. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I'm a doozy dollar. You my only friend. Oh, Gabe Cole said, thank you for the podcast. Okay, I got 2 friends. Appreciate you, Gabe. Thank you, man. Yeah. It's all good. All right, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all long. I got some bean pie that's calling my name. But y'all take what I said, man, and remember, don't ever quit. Don't be stopping and can't do it. Get that punkishness out your blood. As if it's in there. Catch y'all later on. Peace.